Hey guys, I'm going to show you guys basically what Dark Souls is all about. For people who have never played the game, this is basically an RPG. It's very fun. It's both single player and multiplayer. Um, I am going to be starting in offline mode because I do have a modded character. I'm going to show you guys a bit of the intro without a modded character, just so you guys can get a kind of a taste of what it's like. There are a lot of cool things about this game, including its creation set. So you can enter your own character's name. Let's just do 1-2. Sex, male, class. Personally, I would advise not choosing the Pyromancer because you get Pyromancy later on in the game. But anything else is pretty much fine. I'll just go with the Bandit for now. Gifts. I would strongly advise the Master Key. Physique. Sure, let's give him a fucking big head. Face, commoner. Hair, can do a whole bunch of things with the hair. Not really, but there's a couple customization options. Color, doesn't really matter. This is a game more on gameplay than it is like, graphics or anything like that. The graphics are still pretty out there for a game of its detail. So enjoy the audio.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Okay, and as you have it there, that is pretty much the intro to Dark Souls. You can get a majority of the story from there. You're basically an undead right now in a cell prison. The glowing thing on that body, it's an item, as I'm sure you can probably guess. So you go up, pillage corpse, dungeon cell key. You want to open it up. I'll just run a quick thing here. The right bumper is to do a regular attack. As you can see, when I do that, my stamina kind of depletes a bit. When you do a power attack, your stamina depletes more and more. The red bar is your health bar. The green bar is your stamina bar. The gray circle with the numbers in it is called your active humanity circle. So when you have, say, a random humanity in there, it'll pop up. Humanity is, I'll explain that later, but humanity is basically what you use to light bonfires. It's a lot of things. But in that circle, if it, in order to become human, you have to get to a bonfire. And I'll show you up here, actually. But long story short, humanities are very crucial, so be careful with them in this game. As you can see, I don't do a lot of damage, but I can kill this guy. At the bottom right there, that's my soul counter. Souls are basically the currency in this game. If you look in the left there, you see my weapon in my right hand is this broken sword. You press start, you go to this. It's your options. You can browse and use items. Gives you a display of all the different stuff you have. So right now I have a straight sword hilt. You hit X to toggle display. I'll be very careful when I'm saying this. The stuff on the left is your actual damage and how you how everything kind of measures up. So the critical, it's regular, 100%, does a regular amount of critical damage. The physical damage is 20, so it does 20 points of physical damage. The param bonus at the bottom there, param is parameter bonus. So you have, as you can see on the right side, vitality, which does not affect weaponry, attunement, which does not affect weaponry, strength, which does, dexterity, which does, intelligence, resistance, which does not, intelligence does, and faith does. So I'll hit the back button here, and it basically shows you the amount of damage indicated, everything like that. You hit the back button on your 360 controller, and it gives you a display of everything. Down here, auxiliary effects. So you'll see at the bottom left there, that's bleeding. Next to it is poison. To the right of that is divine damage, and to the right of that is dark damage, so occult damage, divine and occult. On the right here, you have damage reduction percent. So if you're going to use this as a blocking tool, your physical reduction is 20%. You reduce the magic damage that comes towards you by 5%. Fire and lightning is 15%, and the stability is 10%. Stability is basically, the higher the stability on a shield or weapon, means the more damage you can take before your poise is broken, so before your stance is broken. It requires 6 strength to wield and 6 dexterity to wield. Its durability is 200 and it only weighs 1 pound. So if I want to go over here, you see I have all my regular equipment. Now this is where you get a little bit more into it. Your physical defense is 9%, or 9 points. It protects 9.9 against striking attacks, 9 points against slashing attacks, and 8.1 against thrusting attacks. It only protects 8 points against magic, 5 against fire, and 6 against lightning. It has 0 poise, so it's basically just a piece of cloth. It's got 8 bleed resistance, 8 poison resistance, and 0 curse resistance. Weighs 1.2 pounds. I'll let you guys kind of get more into that, but I'm going to more so give you the rundown in the beginning, just as a kind of a beginner start. So this is your hotkey items, arrows and crossbow bolts, rings, your weapons, your shields, basically your left hand and your right hand, kind of like in Skyrim how you would use it. The only difference with this is you can put a shield in either your right or your left. But alright, let's get to it. So right now I'm in an undead prison, just kind of going along. And as you can see, there's this. It's basically people can put messages down. They're like little hints. Not all hints are good, because other people can put down messages that will appear in your world. They're placed down in their world, but they will appear in your world. Like here's another one. This is by the game itself. See how it has the top left by the little knight thing? That means the game has put it in there themselves. Rest of the bonfire, recover HP. This is a bonfire. Press A to light the bonfire. Bonfire lit. You rest at the bonfire. Right now you don't have a lot of options because you're just starting it out. But as you go along, you'll get more and more options for the bonfire. So I'm going to open these doors, and I will give you guys a quick hint. If you do have any heart conditions, this game has a lot of suddenness to it. There's a lot of scary, well, not really scary, but not really anticipation either, but quick moments. Like a bang, a crash, stuff like that. So if you have weak heart, this is not the game for you, but neither is Call of Duty, so. Now this guy right here, don't fight him. You press the B button to roll. You want to run past this guy and get away from him. Trust me, fighting him will get you killed right now. Here's another bonfire you can rest at. I'm not going to. Another message, get your shield. So when you come up here, there will be a guy at the end shooting arrows at you. See? Hurts me. You pick up the shield. You go to not browse and use items, but change equipment. You change it with the left and right bumpers. You get under your left hand. You use the shield, the spider shield. You can parry in this game. So basically, if an enemy melee, actually, I'll show you parry later on. But right now, you hold down the left bumper to block. And I'll show you as you block. The more you block, you actually use stamina. Now there's another item up here. Battle axe. So let's equip the battle axe. So now I've got a shield and a weapon that can actually do damage. So I did a total of 128 damage. The amount of damage you do has no effect on the amount of souls you get. So these fog doors are basically that separate areas. There's not a lot of loading screens, but it does separate an area. So right now there's a guy in there that I want to go talk to. Rolling is kind of an easier way to get around. But if you look in here, there's a knight in there. It looks like the knight that helped you in the beginning. But I can't get through here. So I go down the stairs. There's nothing. I already know there's nothing, but when you guys go up these stairs, you can see like a little whip at the top there, like a little bit of a ball or something like that. You guys want to go about halfway up the stairs and then roll off onto the bottom stairs like this. Or well, he can just kind of drop off, but yeah. So the boulder, or this thing right here, came down and broke through the wall.
Oh, you. You're not a hollow. Thank goodness. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I are both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family: thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords, when thou ringeth the bell of awakening. The fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. And thank you.
So there you have it, a companion that more so helps you out. Then you go up here, and you'll see this is the guy that pushed the sword down. This is an undead who's lost his mind. He has no conscience of who he was or where he was. I spoke about parry earlier. I'm going to show you guys what parrying is. Parrying in this game is actually very, very hard until you get the hang of it, because then you have to get the timing right. So the timing for this undead is right before his weapon hits you. If you hit a parry, you have that. But if you don't, you get sliced up. See, I'm taking a considerable amount of damage from him. But you parry him, you're okay. Sometimes you'll do like a half parry like that, and you'll only take a little bit of amount of damage. You won't parry, but you'll block a bit as well. So, but this is what happens. When you parry him, you can hit the right bumper to riposte. Riposte is basically this. Parrying lets you do a considerable amount of damage to your foe. There is a ring later in the game that actually changes the parry animation, makes it a little more epic. So, got a bunch of messages here. With different characters, there will be items up here. You won't always get the items that I got at the beginning. Oh, now there's a couple enemies, so I kind of want to bring them away from that arrow guy because I'll get hit. But mental note as well: when you use power attack, you do leave yourself open sometimes, like this. So this game is really more so about timing and skill. See, this is an arrow guy. Arrows are bad with enemies because all you need to do is close the distance. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to. If you press the Y button, you can two-hand your weapon. When you two-hand your weapon, you sacrifice your shield and blocking ability for more damage. There's also a different moveset as well. With this axe, there's not much because most axes use the same moveset, but there you go. One other thing as well, if you click the right or the left thumbstick forward and hit the right trigger at the same time, you do a jumping and power attack. It uses a lot of stamina, but does a lot of damage. In this room over here, there's parrying practice. Most times it won't be that easy. I've mastered parrying for a while, so if you hit X, it currently uses the item down here. You can have up to 5 items at a time. Estus Flask is your way of basically restoring health. Traverse the white light, okay. Now, when you guys do this, I'm going to warn you right now, you do have to fight him. So you want to chop off and tap the right bumper. Tapping the right bumper mid-fall, like halfway through your fall, is a plunging attack. So you want to be careful to block attacks like that. This guy is very dangerous, but he's slow. Oh, and he can fly. That's called a butt slam. You want to stay away from that. That's very dangerous and it hurts. You can roll to evade attacks. And yeah, you can kill him. It tells him you defeated. You get humanity. I'm going to show you guys real quick, see how I can now change between the two. And it also gives me souls for killing him in the bottom right. This humanity, if you watch when I hit X, I'm going to consume the humanity, and it's going to give me it at the top left corner. That's called a consumable, so a crunchy. You crunch that humanity, it gives you an active humanity in the top left. Doing so allows you to not only become human, but use it for a bunch of other stuff in the game. Now that you know the basic story of Dark Souls, I'm going to leave it with you guys, depending on how many votes this video gets and how many likes and stuff like that, however many people find it useful. I will keep making this. This is more so for my gaming community, for people who don't know what the game is, who haven't experienced it. There's a lot more to come. This game is enormous, not including the DLC. DLC is very worth it, but as you can see, this game is about to unfold in a very, very different way than most.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.